By the time this video comes out, I'll either still be on a trip or I'll be back home. But let's talk about travel, how you prepare or not prepare to travel with your camera. Hey, welcome to another video. I apologize, it's been a little while since I put out my last video, and been a few different reasons. Number one, I had a little touch of a cough and sore throat and kind of lingered on for a few weeks, and I really just didn't have much to say, to be honest with you. I didn't want to put out a video that it's just so overdone here on YouTube of, you know, the 5 things that do this and the 10 things you don't do to do that, and most of it's so overdone and you've seen it so many times. I just didn't want to do another one of those types of videos just to put out a video. But I want to talk a little bit personal about a trip that, like I said, I'm either on right now by the time this comes out, or I've already returned. And that is, when you take a probably once in a lifetime trip to certain cities around the world, how much do you prepare? How much do you not prepare? What gear do you take? And those types of things. If you follow my video, you know that a little over a year ago I joined a local art league. And when I told some of the people that I was going to be on that trip, so many of them were saying, "Oh my goodness, I can't wait for you to get back so I can see your photos. Oh, they're going to be so incredible. Oh, I can't wait to see your photos." And this past year I joined a camera club, and we had a meeting a week or so ago, at least at the time of this filming. And the same thing, people were like, "Oh my goodness, I can't wait to see your photos. Oh my goodness, they're going to be so wonderful." And I'm not as convinced, number one. And number two, I don't really want to put that much pressure on myself to have to think, "Oh my goodness, I have to come back with a certain amount of portfolio worthy photos or it's been a failure." I'm not sure I'm even going to come back with one. And quite honestly, I'm not worried about it. In past trips to Europe, and I took a camera with a backup camera and several lenses, and you know, I was so concerned about getting certain images, some iconic, some not, especially when I went to Iceland, that at times, you know, I'm not sure I really enjoyed the vacation or the trip as a vacation. I think it came out more as, you know, I put too much pressure on myself to want to rush around and get certain images. So I've decided I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to take a sling bag, so I'm going to take a lighter bag. I'm going to take one camera, and I'm still debating on the lenses. I'm thinking of only taking a 28 and a 50 prime and my Nikon Z8. And both of them are manual focus lenses. And you think, "Mike, what the heck you doing? You've got the Nikon 24-120, just take that. That's the perfect travel lens. That's all you need." A lot of truth in that. A lot of truth in that. But in some of these cities, one of the places I'm going is Venice. It's probably going to be pretty crowded. And do I want to be that exposed and that seen by people that want to steal my camera or my lenses? Do I want to be that obvious as a photographer? I thought about taking the Z7II and a small prime, but I'm so familiar with the Z8 now, and I'm so used to it and know where all the dials are, and I have all the settings set up the way I like using it. It's just second nature to me now. And I don't want to have to go on a trip like that with a limited amount of lenses and maybe be futzing around with camera settings, because it's been a while since I've used the Z7II, especially on a trip like this. And my muscle memory with my fingers and my hand and all is designed now for the Z8. So I'm just going to take that. I may end up taking 3 lenses with the 24-120, just kind of taken it just in case. But I think in the end, I'm not going to take it. I think I'm just going to take the 28mm Simera Thypoch lens and the Voigtlander 50 f2 Apo lens. And yes, I'm probably going to miss some photo opportunities. And yes, I'm probably going to miss photo opportunities because I'm messing around with a manual focus lens instead of an autofocus lens. There's a very high probability in that. And you know what? I don't care. And it's not that I don't care to get good images, but I think sometimes we get all worked up when we travel that we have to get a certain amount of images and we have to do this and we have to do that. Then maybe we don't enjoy it the way we should. And so this time I'm going to try and find a much better balance as to enjoying my trip with my wife, and maybe we'll make friends along the way, who knows. But I think I'm just going to ramble around and see what I see. Now the second part of that is that in recent months, and I may have mentioned this in another video, is that I went back and I really started exploring as to who I was as a photographer. And I decided that in the end, I'm a portrait photographer who doesn't always photograph people. That's who I am. And so why do I need a wide variety of lenses if I know that? And I also have decided that I'm essentially, I'm not going to say only, because I don't want to again put that kind of pressure on myself, but in large part I'm just going to make platinum prints now. If you go back and look at some of my recent videos, you'll learn a little bit about that. In fact, the last Camera Club, I did a discussion, I did a presentation on platinum prints, and there were a few people who were interested, but one person said at the end, they went, no, way too hard, not for me, thank you very much. That's why platinum prints are pretty rare. It's why they are what they are, because they can be a lot of work and you do have to know a lot. But I think that's who I am as a photographer now. And in order to make those platinum prints, I really only need a 28 and 50mm lens, in my opinion. Now, I may come back from that trip and say, what did I do? Why didn't I just take the 24 to 120 and maybe a prime and not lose out on things? But I'm hoping that in the end, this is going to really force me to focus even more as to who I am as a photographer. I haven't done a lot of research. I've done a little bit on Venice, watched a few videos. I went on Google Earth and looked around and poked down a few streets, but I didn't do the research that I normally do when I go away. And I've done little to no research on any of the other cities that we're visiting. We're visiting 6 or 7 other cities, including Rome and Naples. But I haven't really done any research on them at all because I just want it to unfold in front of me. I want to see what I see and not worry about rushing off to find what someone else has already seen, if that makes sense. And that's going to be my goal on this trip. So when I come back, you'll probably see a video or two about my trip. And hopefully I accomplish my goals, and hopefully I'm not all upset that I didn't come back thinking, boy, I really should have taken that 24 to 120 with me. Because the Nikon 24 to 120 lens is the lens I probably use the most. And when I went to Banff National Park in Canada last year, it was the lens I used the majority of the time. When I went to Iceland, it was the lens I used the majority of the time. It's a great travel lens. There's no question about it. But being I'm going to be walking around in crowded streets, I want to try and make myself a little less visible. And I don't really want that lens sticking out quite as much. So we'll see if I regret it or not. I'll let you know when I get back. So until then, be well. Hopefully I can get rid of this cough before we go away on the trip. And until next time, I'll see you soon. And you know, you might want to hit the like and or subscribe button if you don't mind. I rarely mention that in the videos, but if you don't mind, I'd appreciate it. All right, till next time, take good care. See you soon. Bye.